Shabbat Shalom. I know there's still a few snowbirds missing, but let me hear you all of you. Shabbat Shalom. You open your prayer books to page 215. I know our bodies have been doing a lot of stuff all week long. Now let's give our souls a chance to express with the kind of language the soul likes, the kind of things the soul likes, as we sing Hallelujah Nafshi et Adonai. Let our souls praise God. 2, 3, 4.
Good Shabbos, everyone. So I know there's been some discussion about whether I would come in the costume I was wearing for Purim for Shabbat. I chose that tonight I should just be a regular rabbi instead of a rabbi in drag, but I will tell you the following story. For those of you who don't know, for Purim, I was cast as RuPaul, the great drag queen. But Thursday morning after Purim, I took off my makeup Wednesday night, I went to sleep, and then early Thursday morning I had a doctor's appointment. I got dressed, I went to my doctor, and had to take off my socks and shoes and realized that I still had gold nail polish. Thankfully, my doctor's a member of Temple Israel. He understood. That is a true story, one of the more embarrassing moments. But it occurred to me that it's in the rabbinic tradition, there's a discussion of whether it's okay for people to dress in drag. And on Purim, actually, the rabbis talk about that it is, in fact, okay for men to dress as women and vice versa. And, of course, the roles of men and women are always changing in Judaism, and there are different roles and different traditions for different moments of Jewish life. One of those is lighting the Shabbat candles, where we typically invite up a woman to light the candles, as it's been traditionally the role of a woman in a house to light Shabbat candles. But tonight, in the spirit of Purim, we'll change that role a little bit, because the person who has won our lottery tonight for lighting the Shabbat candles is John Selesko. So we invite John to come forward. And we turn in our prayer books to page, how about page 12? 13, page 13. Page 13.
Light is the foundation of life, yet impossible to touch. Light is flowers growing and fruit trees blossoming, photosynthesis and rainbows shimmering. Light is energy and romance, enlightenment and lightning. Light is red and violet and magenta and blue, lasers and campfires, warmth and illumination, the sunset and the dawn. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, eternal source of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot and commands us to kindle the lights of Shabbat.
Amen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. We turn to Lechadodi on page 34.
Lechadodi rikrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lechadodi rikrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor v'dibur echad ishmi'anu el hameyuchad Adonai echad u'shemo echad v'shemu tiferet v'litila lechadodi rikrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela lechadodi rikrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela.
Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nerchakim ekor haberacha merosh mikedem nesucha sof v'maseh b'machshavat chila
Lechadodi rikrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lechadodi rikrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri, hitoreri, ivaorech, umiori, uri, shir daveri, yivod Adonai, alayich nigila. Lechadodi rikrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lechadodi rikrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela.
Boi v'shalom ateret balakam besimcha u'v'tzolatoch emunei am segula. Boi chala
Lechadodi rikrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lechadodi rikrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela.
At the top of page 41, please join me in prayer. We give each other hints in smiles and glances, in loving words, in sharp reminders. We give each other hints knowingly or unknowingly, in great thunderclaps or still small voices. We give each other hints in these bonds of family, in these gifts of friendship, spoken or unspoken, as together we find our way to God. Continue on page 42 with Chatzi Kaddish.
יתקדל ויתקדש שמי רבה בעלמא דברך ירתי וימליך מלכותי לכל בית ישראל. בגלה, בגלה, ובזמן קריב אמרו אמן. יהי שמירה ומבורך, מעולם ולעולמי עלמיה, יתברך. יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר, ויתרומם, ויתנשא, ויתהדר, ויתעלה, ויתהלל, שמי דקודשה בריחו, נהילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמיר על העלמה וימרו
Continue on page 46. At the very bottom, please pray with me. Can we spend a few moments observing the whizzing creations of our mind and then put them to rest? Can we notice the web of the past that we are always spinning and let it fall away? Can we meet ourselves in this and only this? Baruch atah Adonai, Amari v'aravim. Blessed are you, O God, who makes the evening fall. And on page 54, also at the very bottom of the page, we pray together. See the world as a gift from God directly to us. Act as a gift from God directly to the world. Breathe as if we are all breath. Pray as if we are all the source.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. As you're seated, we continue on page 57. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha ve'hayu ha'devarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibata bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha v'lechtecha v'derech v'shokbecha v'kumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
We turn together to the top of page 60. We celebrate our miracles, the water parting, wall tumbling, sun standing still miracles of our ancestors. Who is like you, O God, creator of fulfillment and joy? Who is like you, majestic in holiness, awesome in splendor, working wonders.
חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל.
Page 63. I am awake to myself and all others. I am awake to those who share my home. I am awake to an ancient text. I am awake.
rise together on page 68.
Together on page 69. Prayer invites us to let God's presence suffuse our spirits, to let God's will prevail in our lives. Prayer cannot bring water to parched fields, nor mend a broken bridge, nor rebuild a ruined city. But prayer can water an arid soul, mend a broken heart, and rebuild a weakened will. Baruch atah Adonai, Machaye HaKol. Blessed are you, O God, who renews all things.
אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך הסלע. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
As you're seated, we pray silently.
Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu be'amecha Yisrael u'tefilatam be'ahava tekabel Tamid avodat Israel. Israel amecha el karov lechol korav v'nei el avadecha v'chonenu shefot ruchacha aleinu v'techezena einenu b'shuvecha leTzion. Baruch atah Adonai, Amalekenu
So I don't know about you, but I wasn't prepared for snow. So I sort of was living in this world of denial that maybe the sun was going to start shining and it was going to get warmer and it might actually be springtime, but no. And then it started snowing and snowing and snowing, and this beautiful blanket just of snow just covered, our community. And that sense of quiet that a snow day like that brings is so introspective and so meaningful for me. And I think that as we turn to this prayer of Mishaberach, that sense of quiet and comfort is exactly what those in our community need who are ill and need of prayer and blessing. And so if we could just envision a warm blanket instead of a cold blanket of snow, that would be perfect. I was actually at the hospital today and visiting, and this family said, we were watching the snow fall from the 8th floor of the hospital, and it was just beautiful, they said, watching the swirling and the twirling of the winds and the flakes, and it just is a very beautiful winter wonderland until the plows come. But let's bring that sense of quiet to those who are ill as we sing together the words of the Mishaberach on page 83. So life with a 4-year-old and with a 2-year-old is never, ever boring. On Monday, after a very long winter break, after remaking breakfast because one of my children's frozen waffles that she has to eat frozen had thawed in her hand because she didn't actually eat it, and then the other one's waffle that he likes hot had cooled down too much in the meantime. So then after that, I had to spend 45 minutes trying to convince my toddlers to get dressed. And after letting my 2-year-old change her shoes 4 times, she declared that she was, in fact, definitely not going to wear shoes to school. But I did it. I got them in the car. Thank you. So once we were all buckled in and on our way to temple, my son, my 4-year-old Ezra, starts pelting me with questions, which is a very typical experience in the later household. What do molecules look like? How big are they? Do molecules make up everything? Do they make up my body? Yes. Do they make up this banana? Holds up banana. Yes. Do they make up the trees? Yes. Do they make up the air? Yes. Well, do they make up the temple? Yes. And after assuring my child that indeed molecules do make up everything, thank you, ECC science class, he is blissfully quiet for a few minutes, which is a very atypical experience in the later household. So then, as we pull into the building, I hear from the back seat, Mom, if molecules make up everything, even our bodies and the air and the temple, what does God even do? Now, I'm not usually at a loss for words, but so I told him that God helps us to know right from wrong, and that God teaches us how to be good people and take care of one another. And we park the car, I turn around, and he responds, Mom, you can tell me. Tell you what? And he goes, does God pretend? Yes, he's 4. So in the Torah this week, we find one of our most iconic stories. Now, Moses is schmoozing with God on Mount Sinai. The people are waiting down below, and they're waiting, and they're waiting, and they're waiting some more, and they start to freak out just a little bit. And so then the people decide that the most brilliant idea they've had collectively is to build a golden calf to worship in the desert, using the riches that they had plundered from Egypt as they fled. So God is, not thrilled about this whole thing. And God tells Moses, now leave me alone, and my anger will be kindled against them, and I'm going to annihilate them. And I will make you, Moses, a great nation. Wait. Now Moses pleads before God, don't forget about all those other promises you made in the past to Abraham, to Isaac, to Israel, your servants. If you annihilate all of these people, you're not a very good promise keeper, are you? So God says, fine, then you deal with them. And so Moses does. He secures forgiveness for the Israelites, and yet, when he returns to Mount Sinai, returns to the presence of God, asking God to be with the people as they continue their trek toward the promised land, God says to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. I am compassionate and gracious, slow to anger, abounding in love and faithfulness, maintaining love to thousands and forgiving wickedness, rebellion, and sin. And yet, God does not leave the guilty unpunished. Okay, great. We're good. Our compassionate God has forgiven the people, but there is this caveat. God adds, God does not leave the guilty unpunished. There is forgiveness, but also punishment. There is compassion, but also justice. But why? Why is forgiveness not enough? Isn't that what forgiveness is about? Not holding grudges, moving on. Why the insistence on justice, on punishment? One of the best examples of this moral quandary comes from a famous paper written in the 60s by Garrett Harding. Now, he asks us to imagine an asset with no specific owner. Maybe pasture land that belongs to everyone, or the sea and the fish that it contains. This asset provides a livelihood to many, many people, the local farmers, the fishermen, but eventually it attracts too many people. There is overpasturing, overfishing, and the resource is depleted, and the pasture is at risk for becoming a wasteland, and the fish are in danger of extinction. So then what happens? The common good demands that from then on, everybody has to practice restraint. They have to limit the number of animals they graze or the amount of fish they catch. But some people are tempted to not. They continue to overpasture or overfish. They get more, and the loss to others is small since it is divided by so many. Self-interest takes precedence over the common good. And you can imagine if enough people do that, the result is disaster. So this is the tragedy of the commons. It explains how environmental catastrophes and other disasters occur. There's a problem of this free rider, this person who pursues his or her own self-interest without bearing their own share of the cost of the common good. And really, the problem is that many, many free riders think that they are the only ones putting themselves above the rest. Now, there's another famous example, a game with 4 players who are each given $8. They're each told they can invest as much or as little as they want in a common fund. The experimenter collects the contributions, adds them up, adds 50% to whatever they give, and then distributes the sum equally to all 4 players. So if everybody contributes $8 to the fund, they each get $12 in the end. But if one player contributes nothing, the fund totals $24, and everybody gets $9 at the end. So 3, they still gain $1, but the 4th, that free rider, gets an extra $9. As the game is played over and over and over again, the participants begin to realize there is a free rider among them. And one of two things begins to happen. Either everyone stops contributing to the fund, the common good, or they agree, if given the choice, to punish the free rider. Often, people are interested in punishment even if it means they will lose money, a phenomenon sometimes called altruistic punishment. So I want to bring it back to our story of the golden calf. If, without any connection being made to the experiment at hand, if participants have been primed to think religious thoughts by being shown words relating to God or being reminded of the Ten Commandments, everybody cheats significantly less. And what is the most fascinating, the most interesting, is that the outcomes show no relationship to the beliefs of the participants. They could be atheists, or they could be observant Jews. It doesn't matter. Just thinking about the concept of God makes people more honest. And our tradition teaches that maybe that's why daily prayer and rituals are so important. What affects us at moments of temptation is not so much our personal belief, but just being aware that belief is out there. And what's even more interesting is that this experiment is one that looks at different ways of thinking about God. Some faiths emphasize divine forgiveness, and others focus on punishment. There are hellfire preachers and those who speak about love. Which works better? Needless to say, when the subjects are atheists or agnostics, there's no difference. They're not affected either way. But among believers, the difference is startling. Those who believe in a punishing God cheat and steal less than those who believe in a forgiving God. People who believe in a punishing God punish people less than those who believe in a forgiving God, which is really the opposite of what I would have thought. So those who believe that, as our Torah portion says this week, God does not leave the guilty unpunished, they're more willing to leave the punishment to God. Those who focus on forgiveness are more likely to practice human retribution or human revenge. So think about that. At the very moment God tells Moses that the people are forgiven, Moses is reminded that still the guilty will be punished, because a world without divine justice would be one without human forgiveness. The Torah lets us play good cop while God plays bad cop, and makes us feel really good and really safe being compassionate, understanding, and forgiving to one another. So now back to my child sitting in the car. After his probing theological question grounded in specific scientific facts, I asked him what he thought. I explained that some people think God is real, some people think God is pretend, but what's most important is the love we have for ourselves and for others. So we park the car, he thinks about it, I can see him thinking really hard, and he hops out of his car seat and announces, well, I think God is real. God probably just lives in our hearts. Can I have some gum? And there you have it. Regardless of our own personal relationship with God or lack thereof, our awareness of belief helps us make ethical choices, to love our neighbors as ourselves. And if we do believe, as many of us do, seeing God as just helps us treat other human beings with kindness and love. And gum. Gum is everything. Shabbat shalom.
Indeed. On page 221.
Ve'ahavta
Now I'd like to call an officer of our congregation, Ellie Bitker, forward to deliver our congregational announcements.
Shabbat Shalom. Well, we have a lot going on this week at Temple, and I hope that you'll join us for many of these activities. Starting with this Sunday, we have a Yifty Purim Carnival. The theme is Once Upon a Time. And
Dr. Seuss. Dr. Seuss. That's last year.
And the children's spiel at 10:45 a.m. is Dr. Sushan's Green Eggs and Haman. Dress in your favorite costume. Please bring a box of kosher pasta or kosher macaroni and cheese to shake as Haman's name is called. Also on this Wednesday, March 7th at 7 p.m. is the Alicia Joy Techner Memorial Parenting Conference. The program is If Only I Had Known, a community conversation on opioid epidemic, including Red Wings announcer Ken Daniels, Judge Edward Sosnick, and West Bloomfield's police chief. Speakers will share personal stories about the cycle of addiction. This session will leave you feeling empowered and educated on the challenges we face with our youth today. And then the following Wednesday, March 14th, from 6 to 8 p.m., please join us to meet our wonderful caterers, Epic Catering. If you're planning a bar mitzvah, wedding, Shabbat dinner, or any celebration that needs to shine, they will have that open house. Envision your wedding in the gorgeous new sanctuary, our beautiful social hall, or the atrium. Speak directly to the caterers about remarkable menus. Enjoy delicious appetizers, adult refreshments, and decadent desserts while you stroll through the amazing new event space. There's no charge, but please let us know if you plan on coming. And then finally, on March 15th at 6 p.m., which is a Thursday night, there's Project Healthy Community, where we will be honoring our own beloved Rabbi Josh Bennett, and he'll be receiving the first ever Project Healthy Community Development Award. It was a sermon by Rabbi Josh that was the inspiration behind the creation of Project Healthy Community. Mayor Mike Dugan and Judge Richard Bernstein will also be speaking. For further information, you could pick literature outside or call our Temple office during normal business hours. On behalf of the Executive Committee and the Board of Trustees, we want to wish you a very happy Shabbat Shalom.
One more announcement. We have chosen to do the March in Detroit, the March for Our Lives, on March 24th. I am figuring out just the last details before I blast everything out into the world. But no, we are going to Detroit on March 24th. So details soon. So as we turn to page 189 for the adoration, we are so excited to be celebrating with Mary Jane and Rick Larson as they celebrate their 55th wedding anniversary. So we call them to the bima, along with any of those in our congregation age 11 and younger, to help us open the ark and receive a Shabbat treat. Please rise. Please be seated. Just have to make sure a couple of cute kids get some candy. We are the pages of the book that was begun those many years ago. We are the holders of the dream that shines brightly in our children's eyes. We are the ember of the flame that was gleaned from those who walked before. Threads together woven, joys and sorrows to each other bound, a people forever united. We recall the names of those in our congregation and community who have died in the past 30 days, the period of Shloshim. Israel Irving Baker, Ruth Baver, Dee Dee Blum, Marcia Brown, Gary Berge, Phyllis Chyman, Bruce Copley, Harvey Dessen, Judith Dumond, Robert Feldman, Anita Garfield, Mark Glazer, Jerry Gross, Joyce Hodis, Naomi Katz, James Lazier, Hal Leader, Ruth Levine, Kim Manelli, Ruth Morocco, Marianne Miller, Phelan Owen, Rita Korzik Parkinson, Howard Passman, Bud Pickett, Jack Posar, Max Putterman, Martin Rabinowitz, Joel Rosner, Sarah Schwartz, Marjorie Schwartz, Terry Shamey, Erwin Saporin, Thomas Slovis, Jerry Slutsky, Henny Spector, Betty Steinloff, Shirley Thomas, Oscar Tuttleman, Julian Wagner, Norman S. Waldron, Betty Weinstein, Shoshana Winkler, and we remember the victims of the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School shooting in Parkland, Florida. We also recall the names of those whose yortzites occur on this Shabbat: Jesse Ahrens, Susan Baltimore, Nathan Barris, Lucille Bendix, Stephen Bendix, Helen Broadwin, Estelle Delinka, Gloria Dunn, Sandra Ellenstein, Manny Franklin, Lillian Glass, Fred Goldman, Lydia Gray, Anita Heyman, Ethel Baker Cardin, Sonia Catane, Gertrude Levine, Dorothy Lynn, Elaine Phillips, Larry Schwartz, Sophie Selesco, Leah Singer, Fred Stocker, Etzel Williams, Jacqueline Zimmerman, David Brian Schwartz, William Shulak, Ella Goldstick, Sam Rader, Ida Rader, Pearl Schiffer, Sam Epstein, Ann Greenhut, Harvey Schatz, Alvin Dunn, Lillian Bennison, Sandy Stoller, Abe Barish, Harriet Luborski, Louis Berman, Thelma Marshall, John Ehrman, Francis Bonner, Isidore Chaikin, Helen Kameni, Lucy Seltzer, Noima Marin, Eugene Katz, Naum Levin, Froim Lebedinsky, Golda Lebedinsky, Max Korderwitz, Doris Kraken, Robert Katz, and Robert Stern. We remember them with love and honor them with words of Kaddish on page 199. Just do it. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei dochol beit Yisrael, ba'agalau v'zman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam le'olmei olmaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitroman v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei dekudisha brichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. We pray that the source of peace sends peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved among us. Amen.
We conclude our service on page 204 with Tefillat Haderech.
May this be our blessed
someone a hug on your right, a hug on your left, and Shabbat Shalom.